On Thursdays, we do what is called the Travel Thursdays segment. And we started this midway through the pandemic because we felt that it's a good idea for us to take you to places, at least virtually, and help you plan the dream holidays that you will have once things get back to normal. And we've taken you to some very spectacular locations already. We're going to talk about another spectacular location, and joining me to talk to you about it is Ivana Perkovic, who has now become something of a regular on this show. Ivana, thank you so much for joining in. The location that you selected is particularly interesting because of the time of the year, right? And we're not necessarily suggesting that people travel right now, what with Omicron still a bit of a concern, but you've selected Hong Kong. Why is that?
So Hong Kong is one of those destinations in the world which is actually it offers something to every single traveler out there. So whether you're traveling with your family or you're on a romantic couples holiday or you're with your friends or just on a solo trip, you can find anything for whatever type of holiday you're there at. And especially like you mentioned, during this time of the year, from the 21st of January until the 21st of February, they are celebrating the Lunar New Year. Just make sure if you are going for the exact dates, because just like with Diwali, each year the date differs a little bit. But yeah, the most important things that I would recommend right now, seeing in Hong Kong or actually putting on your bucket list if you plan on going, for instance, for Lunar New Year next year, is one, the amazing West Kowloon Cultural District. This has just recently opened and it is absolutely a melting pot of local culture, traditions, and heritage in a completely modern twist. So it's absolutely something that I even can't wait to see for myself. Then the second thing that I would always recommend for any traveler in Hong Kong is to go on a hike and escape the hustle and bustle of the city, because there are so many beautiful hikes around Hong Kong and they're extremely budget friendly actually, because you don't have to pay any entrance fees. All the national parks are open. Actually, even if you want to go to the beaches, which are sometimes around along the hiking trails, it is all freely accessible. My favorite hikes are the Lion Rock hike, the Dragonback hike, and the Llama Island hike. And then finally, a must-do thing, especially during the Lunar New Year period in Hong Kong, is to eat around the city. Hong Kong has so much delicious street foods, and if you want to try the best ones, just download the Open Rice app, which will guide you along the best street food stalls. My favorite neighborhoods for street food are definitely Mong Kok, Temple Street, and then of course Kowloon. One thing that you can actually also not miss out on in Hong Kong, especially during the Lunar New Year, are the decorations. You can find so many beautiful red lanterns in a lot of Hong Kong streets. So just by walking around the city, you will spot those already. And then, of course, the flower markets. They are especially very active during this time of the year, and you can find very special flowers around this time of the year.
You've already painted quite a beautiful picture, Ivana, and I was reading up a little bit about Hong Kong and how Indians can get there, and it's a relatively easy procedure to get a visa, especially if you're staying only for about 14 days, which I think is enough time, right, for a holiday. Talk to us about the budget for a holiday like that. If you're going there for a week or so, what's the food like? How much would you normally spend on food, etc.?
So the food and the activities are actually extremely budget friendly for Indians in Hong Kong. Like I mentioned, the street food is very accessible and it's also very versatile. I think you can easily eat only street food for the whole week and still try something new every single day. In terms of prices, it is also extremely affordable because you can get a pineapple bun for as little as 77 rupees. Then, like I mentioned, the activities are also extremely budget friendly. The hikes are freely accessible. The only costs that you would make are, for instance, the metro fares, which are also really affordable for Indians. You can get an MTR Metro card actually almost right away at the airport. It is 100 Hong Kong dollars and 50 Hong Kong dollars as a deposit. In total, that translates to about 1400 Indian rupees, of which you will get almost 900 rupees in credits. So you can already use that for the public transportation. MTR is valid on all the public transportation. Actually, I'm saying that wrong. It is called the Octopus card, and the MTR is the local metro. So the Octopus card, you can use it for almost all public transportation. And then the rest of that fee is actually, you can get it back if you just return the card. So they're making it very accessible to just move around the city, to also do a lot of things. And the food is also super, super accessible. However, if you look at accommodation, Hong Kong has some of the most expensive land in the world. And this also translates into quite high accommodation prices. I think pre-pandemic, paying about like 50 US dollar up to 100 US dollar was quite normal. But now, due to the pandemic, the prices have come down quite a lot. And you can actually find really, really good accommodations between 2,000 up to 5,000 rupees. One accommodation tip that I would highly recommend is to actually try to stay out of the central areas like Kowloon and Central. And for instance, Diamond District, where you can, for instance, find Penta Hotel, a really, really good four-star hotel for about 3,000 rupees a night. It's a really, really good deal.
No, it sounds amazing. What are the experiences apart from, and you mentioned the flower district, right? Or the flower markets. But
Yeah.
what are the one or two things that someone should absolutely do when they go to Hong Kong? What can they not miss out on?
If I can speak from my personal experience, I really, really love Lama Island. It is a small island, I think half an hour ferry ride from the central district. So actually, Lama Island is a small community on its own. So when you get there, there is no transportation by car. The only way to get around there is either by bike, a two-wheeler, or actually a bicycle. So you can go there for a hike. There is a beautiful beach there. There is delicious street food there. There are amazing views. It's a really, really it's quite a surreal place because it feels like a completely how do you say that, independent community aside from the regular Hong Kong life. Then I think also something really amazing. Most people go for the harbor light show in the harbor itself. But then one hidden gem that I can really, really recommend is going to the Intercontinental Hotel. Even if you're not staying there, their lounge has by far the best view of the harbor. So you can just have a drink there and enjoy it, especially if you're on a romantic holiday or even just on a solo trip by yourself and you want to treat yourself. Right. I would recommend that because the view of the harbor is absolutely amazing and unique.
I'm taking down notes as you're speaking. Thank you so much, Ivana, for taking the time, for speaking to us as always.
My pleasure. I hope you enjoyed.